free Palestine that is happening, then I'm gonna talk about it. Okay, and that's basically it's sad to see, but that's basically what ContraPoints did, like to a T almost. Okay, and I like ContraPoints. I've never had any issues with her. I don't really care about like all the other controversies that she's been in or whatever. You know what I mean? She's, for those of you who don't know, ContraPoints is a bread tuber. She was one of the OG bread tubers. Like, she would make these really long, well thought out YouTube video essays. Bisexual lighting, all of that, right? And she had been, I guess, noticeably absent. I don't really run around being like, why is my favorite YouTuber not saying anything about this issue or that issue or whatever. I mean, it is odd when like you're a political content creator, or you have major political opinions be known, and you don't really say anything about like perhaps one of the most significant, one of the most impactful global incidents that is unfolding in real time. It is odd, but I never was like, why won't you say anything, right? And I guess people were doing that a lot, and so she did. She came out and like released something, not on Twitter, mind you, but instead on Reddit, which is, I guess, like a less hostile space to reveal.
Oh boy, I don't know what I got myself into, and I don't like it one bit, but here we go. I'm gonna try to do something else. I'm gonna try to attempt to cover the situation between Hasan Piker and ContraPoint. First up, I don't like either of them. I never want to like Hasan Piker, nor do I like ContraPoint. Right? If anybody who's been around the channel at least a bit of time can know that I'm not politically left. Really, depending on the economics. I think you can make a good case that I'm left wing, quote unquote left wing, but this isn't the point about talking about that kind of issues. So it is what it is. So if you're not aware, I tried to do a video on it, and I just didn't care enough at the time, just mostly because like it was just hilarious. Now I did do a stream on it where I did cover the ContraPoint thing. I did do a stream on it, so that was, if you want to watch that, go ahead. I can't remember what stream it was, to be fair. I need to probably start keeping a better record. Probably do a better clerical job on that front. Nevertheless, and if you're not aware, Hasan Piker is a very much advocated person for the pro-Palestinian cause. In the case of ContraPoint, her opinion was very controversial, that it spurred on a lot of leftists. It spurred so many of them off, and they just went after her. You know the meme where, if you ever heard the meme in a lot of right-wing circle about leftists, how they eat themselves sometimes? Oh boy, it's true. It's very true, actually.
This conflation right now, when the overwhelming majority of Americans and the overwhelming majority of people in the Western world have very clearly recognized the reality that this is an unsustainable and truly immoral situation. So then it's basically like associating ISIS to Islam, but you're doing it in a way where you want to be woke and anti-Islamophobia almost. But yeah, well, I'll get to it. I'll start off with that, I guess. It's as you guys know, I normally shy away from talking about whatever is percolating in the takeosphere, right? I don't really talk about like the quote unquote drama and things of that nature, but there is one exception, and that is when someone has a political perspective or a take or something, especially as it pertains to this issue. That's usually when I explain the shitty drama. It's not like, I don't think this is quote unquote drama. Is pull up the statement. Yeah, Dick Sertonox posts, YouTuber ContraPoints has posted her full take, and I'm just gonna go through this YouTuber ContraPoints has posted her full take on Israel to Reddit. Okay. All right, let's open the image in a new tab because there's so much happening here. There's a lot. It's an effort post. Okay. ContraPoints, user ContraPoints, and I think like it's significant that she posted it on Reddit rather than on Twitter because I think she knows like the environment. Like, so many leftists feel.
Here we have a good Hasan Piker going into it, especially not talking about too much about tanky drama. If you ever seen what tanky drama is like, it is brutal. I've seen it before. I used to be in a lot of some left wing servers on Discord in the past, and I used to follow some leftist. I mean, I still do follow some leftist tankies. Obviously, if they're more along the line of a nationalist, right, or if they're more religious. I do follow a lot of them, and it's a good way to get a better I get more of a different perspective on things. That's one thing I would always try to say. Even if you disagree with somebody, trying to understand the other side, it's kind of important. Now, in this situation, when we're talking about the stuff, right? Oh boy. I mean, like Hasan, I can kind of understand why Hasan maybe doesn't want to get involved in tanky drama or doesn't want to talk about it, because I do know quite a bit of tankies do not like Hasan. I know that for a fact that a lot of tankies don't like Hasan for a multitude of reasons, much more different reason than let's say in the right. And from what at least from what I can gather, it has to do with him being more along the line of a bourgeoisie rather than an actual proletariat. But I'll let the people who are gonna end up coming, I'm just gonna let the people who I know who are gonna come on this video and shit talk me, because they probably have a much more of a vocal opinion. But I'm perfectly fine letting them talk. If anything, I would like to kind of see how they feel, both on the ContraPoint fans and the Hasan Piker fans. This isn't really me bashing them. More just me trying to do my attempt to cover them and just talk about the whole little drama. But then again, I never thought I would be the one to try to cover Hasan Piker and ContraPoint drama. Again, I don't like these two, but I like to see their perspective. And again, I've read the ContraPoint thing on my stream before. So hearing Hasan talk about it is a little quite interesting.
Be judged on my actual opinions. So here they are. Is Israel committing in Gaza? Yes. Do I oppose it? Yes. Do I feel angry about it? Yes. I also feel a lot of other things. I think if she had basically stopped it here, even here, this is like kind of silly to be like, look, I'm a content creator. I talk about a litany of different issues. I've done all of this stuff. Is Israel doing it in Gaza? Yes. Do I oppose it? Yes. Is Israel an apartheid state? Yes. Free Palestine. Boom. It's over. No controversy. Okay. No issue whatsoever. Like, why is this issue being treated as though it is it's annoying or it's inconveniencing? You know what I mean? Like, why is this? Like, would we say this about I mean, plenty of people, I'm sure, they didn't have the full knowledge of when it was happening, but I'm sure plenty of people.
Now, to be fair, if you ever been on any political YouTube or Discord or even on anywhere on X, when you're dealing with politics, one of, if not the biggest thing, is period cycle. Purity cycle. There you go, purity cycle. It's probably one of the biggest thing in a lot of those circles. If not every circle, it's gonna have those no matter what. And anytime you go against the grain, you'd be surprised how vocal people are, to the point a lot of them are very vile. But that's part of the core. And I would say that you can debate whether or not right-wingers are a lot more aggressive about it or left-wingers are more aggressive about it. You can go back and forth, and both can be equally valid. As somebody who has a hand on both sides, particularly more within the right, I can kind of see. The thing is, though, with the left, they're a lot more, in my honest opinion, at least more open about it. They're, at least within some of the people on the right, it's closed doors, or it's usually a private tweet or whatever, or a private Discord. Here, it's clearly wide open. And you can tell Hasan is like, if you would have just stopped right here, silly as it may be, you would have not gotten that much shit. And I'm just like, okay, that's what it is. It comes down to you have a slight disagreement when it's coming to the, Israel. I'm trying to be careful of what I really want to say. Not really what I really want to say, really what I want to say and portray, but I don't want to break any rules right now. Mostly because on this ground, what I'm trying to get at is that I think it comes down to contrapoint whole thing about Zionism, and obviously Hassan Piker is somebody who's against that. So that is an important factor in this. And truthfully, it's just crazy watching a leftist fight a lot of the time. And here I'm doing my best to not call both of them idiots, because in my honest opinion, I think you need diversity. I guess you could say you need diversity of opinion, and you can't constantly. Wow, that is loud. You can't always just. I guess contrapoint is like going against the grain, and it's caused enough problem. I mean, I've seen YouTubers cover it, other bread tube, other tanky tubers covering this, and all I'm like, and all I could think of is, damn, they really do eat themselves.
No need to say any of this stuff, honestly. One, Doom. She also like presented this Reddit post like one of her videos, which is so crazy. Like with the paragraph titles and everything. The week after October 7, it was clear the mood among the Israeli leaders and civilians was overwhelmingly kill or be killed. Existential panic and unstoppable lust for revenge. It reminded me of the U.S. after 9/11. There was no reasoning or protesting them out of it, nor was it politically feasible for the U.S. to withdraw aid to Israel on a time frame that would make a difference. That's just objectively incorrect. And it makes me feel like she doesn't know enough about this issue. Because there's only two options here. Either she's cynically misinforming people, or she just genuinely is oblivious to this reality. And I think it's the second, okay? The idea that, well, they're just bloodthirsty, not much we can do about it, is one thing, which is also crazy. Like just because a foreign entity, a foreign government is experiencing bloodlust doesn't mean that we can't protest that. Is nuts, okay? But beyond that, ContraPoints is who said this. But beyond that, the notion that like it was not politically feasible for the U.S. to withdraw aid to Israel on a time frame that would make a difference is wrong. If that was the case, Biden would not have flown to Israel a week after October 7 and did the now known as the bear hug strategy with Benjamin Netanyahu, and then
Yeah, sound keeps going on and on and on. Yeah, yeah, you can tell that Hassan is not happy with the opinion that ContraPoint has made. Now, again, personally, I don't really care if leftists go at each other's throats. That's not really what I care for. And again, I'm perfectly fine with it. I'm very open about it. If anything else, if you ever ask me about that question, I'm very open. But at the same time, I can understand how he could be very frustrated since Hassan is trying to create a movement to free the Palestinian states against, the tyranny of Israel. The only reason I said it that way, guys, is because I kind of want to slightly laugh at the leftists just for just 1 second, because it's what's cool to say it like that. But in all seriousness, if you ever seen what leftist politics is sometimes, and I think a lot of leftists can agree that the slightest disagreement can cause a massive uproar. It's not really as bad all the time in the right because whatever. But in the left, it's known to be notoriously bad, and it can get really violent in some cases. Spanish Civil War, for instance. And I think what it is Hassan is trying to police other people who have different opinions than his. That's what it really feels like. A lot of the time, it's just Hassan is trying to police people. If you disagree with what I am pushing, you guys are idiots. Now, that's not really much I want to cover. Maybe I'll cover this in a stream if I already did. I'll let you guys just go on and watch this whole video. You can easily find it. I just wanted to cover just a little bit of it, not too much, because I don't want to get brain damage. I'm just listening to watching Hassan Piker. I feel like many other leftists can agree that maybe there's other content creators that could do a better job in explaining the situation and at least give some nuance on both sides of why some leftists support Palestine and some support Israel. What I feel like Hassan is kind of try to gaslight people But I also like to see what the Hasan people think about this mostly. How much do they agree with Hasan? How much do they disagree with contrapoint, or vice versa, right? And I just want to gauge, right? Again, I'm not really gonna cover too much of. I mean, I already cover Hasan and I slightly cover contrapoint, but every so often I may just go through and just go through the hassle of watching all of this while I slowly die inside. But till next time, God bless, and as always, never to support. Bye.